Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and it's time to talk about some more great news about Modern Masters. Hey, remember when Modern Masters used to look a little bit nicer than other cards? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Okay, I'm done with that meme. But I also remember. I do believe, if I'm remembering the correct set, EMA might have been the same, but I feel like it wasn't. But they used some kind of either different finish paper or an even darker black ink. From what I know about printing, I would say it was probably a nicer paper. Now, to get a different shine level on the top, a different like reflectivity of light and flatness, while still maintaining the same weight of the paper, like precise, so that you couldn't feel which card was lighter in your hand, that is hard. It's not that hard, but it's not exactly easy either. Also, if the card was a little bit thicker or thinner, it would technically shuffle a little tiny bit differently, like just enough for it to throw off the precision of your deck. So if you had some Modern Masters 2 cards that were printed, on a different paper, a little bit thicker, thinner, whatever, and then you're shuffling your deck and the rest of the cards are printed 10 years ago, you've got a problem because you're going to perpetually have all kinds of patterns. Now, a card sleeve helps a lot, but it still is enough to throw it off from being random, but I haven't heard any actual complaints about it. So it looked to me like Modern Masters 2 actually pulled it off. So it was more vibrant, the blacks were darker, which is a huge key component of making printing not look cheap and crappy. And then it seems like, okay, they went back to normal. So it made sense. For standard, it's like, whatever, that's their bulk printed, just blah product. And then for a special product that costs triple, okay, there you go. This time around, holy crap, it's almost like in 2017 they stepped down the quality. It's at best at the same quality level as Kaladesh and Aether Revolt, which is a joke. I mean, even OGW, I don't quite remember BFZ, but I know OGW had so many misaligned cuts. And little bit of ink problems, just a lot of scuffing. I mean, just stuff that happens in a print facility that they may or may not catch. But then you move on to Aether Revolt and Modern Masters 3. Holy crap, it's stuff that should have never happened at a printing facility. And I say this because I used to work at a printing facility, not a Magic the Gathering card one, but we did all kinds of stuff. Oh, I also was in charge of all the graphics design and printing at my old company, so not exactly foreign to me how to pick out paper, how to cut it, how to make the edges look professional, the colors, that kind of stuff. So you've probably seen all the different pictures floating around on forums and I'm sure Reddit. I wouldn't know, I don't go to that trash heap. But there's like corner cut problems, okay? Miscut corners are like how you tell that a card is counterfeit. So that's one thing you really don't want to do, especially in a premium set. I mean, that is like bad on top of bad on top of bad. There are just like outright square corners. I mean, how does that even happen? I'm not that familiar with like the what do they call it? Like a die cutter or whatever, like a big giant, flat blade cutter, which I believe is what they use. I haven't used one personally. I've used the single blade cutter, but I'm pretty sure to get rounded corners, they just use like a stamp cutter kind of where it just goes boom and hits it. Well, it's like a giant piece of metal, I'm pretty sure. How the hell do you get one corner wrong? Like the plate or whatever is like pre-made. I mean, I could see it getting dull and then it miscuts and you get like a fuzzy little thing, but I'm starting to think that based on some of the defects I've seen, that's not how they cut the cards anymore. I think they have 4 different corner cutters or they rotated or something like that. I don't know. You would think that would cause edge damage, but hey, guess what? Guess what else we're seeing? Edge damage. Yeah, edge damage that wasn't caused in shipping. Oh, this is just all downhill. And some people are like, oh, it's fine, it's variance, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, back up to like M14, I don't recall a whole lot being wrong with that. I mean, it's not like I opened it in bulk, but nobody was really complaining much, even up to like Origins. And it was very, very, very clear that the ink, the printing method, and the paper were potentially changed a little bit between a whole bunch of like, we'll say the last 20 sets. It was clear as day to me. Now, maybe it was just, it was more humid that day, so the card just looks different. There actually isn't anything different. It's just ink absorption, or the machine was calibrated a little different just for your boxes that you got. That I could see, but I think they were experimenting with different stuff, and I could have sworn that the staff said something about like, oh, we're changing this, we're changing vendors, we're changing paper, we're changing ink, we're going to a premium method, we're changing the foil method. In fact, I know that they changed the foil method. In fact, I happen to know that From the Vault is actually printed completely differently. But now the changes apparently haven't been like, hey, our cards look good and there's nothing wrong with them, but let's see if we can improve on it. No, I don't think that's what they were going for, evidently. It would seem they're like, hey, let's get cheaper with this, because I would say, without seeing their, actual balance sheet, that printing of the cards is their number one expense. They allegedly sold 116, 117, something like that, million boosters in 2016 or 15. I forgot which one they said. I think it was 2016. So you multiply that by 15 or 16 if you include the token. I think they're 16. I actually don't remember. I know Modern Masters is 16. I mean, I feel like I should know this, and if you're about to say that, I bet you don't know how many are in there after all the whole, oh, you get a bonus flip, and then, oh, if you get this, then it takes the place of that, and oh, you might get 3 rares in a pack. Okay, they've screwed with it. Nobody knows what the hell's in a pack unless they got one in front of them. So if you're printing 600, 700 million cards, and you only had to pay your design staff, we'll say $250,000 tops to, approve and test the set. I mean, okay, design, artists, all of R&D, okay, it's probably a couple million, but still, it costs a lot to put ink on paper, cut it, and then ship it from freaking Belgium. Let's go to that little point for a second here. Let's take a little journey through that decision. What the hell? Okay, plain and simple, the best printing equipment in the world is in America. Arguably, you could maybe get close with Germany and some other really high-techy kind of European places, but America knows printing. We have printing specialized areas. Some of them are in Wisconsin. If you want something printed top-notch, you go to America. And plus, paper products weigh a lot, okay? You'd have to ship tons, literal metric tons of cards across the ocean. Hope nothing happens to them. Hope they don't get held up at the border, during customs. I mean, just having a supplier or operating part of your business in a foreign country is a massive pain in the butt, and it causes nothing but problems. I cannot believe that a place like Belgium would be so much cheaper than America that it's actually worth it to ship the cards back here. I just don't believe that. I have no idea why it ended up in Belgium. Maybe they have a patent on some kind of counterfeiting thing, or maybe they have a patent on the foil method or something. I don't know. You could get all kinds of stuff done in America. I don't know what the hell Wizards is thinking. It probably was just some company lowballing and going to a lower margin, because it just isn't cheaper to get stuff printed in Belgium. I'm sure at the end of the day it is, otherwise they would have no reason I could possibly see to get anything from them. But other than that, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. They really should just have America print the damn cards. And here's maybe the best reason for not getting the cards printed in Belgium like they currently do. They suck. The quality's going down the toilet and all the cards look like crap. They're miscut, misprinted, missing ink. They've got yellow haze. They're missing black. They're faded. The corners are cut just counterfeit level wrong. The actual booster plastic itself shows the line markings that mark the edge instead of cutting them correctly. They're crimped over the cards. The cuts are crooked, noticeably a couple degrees crooked. Oh, and then there was the whole thing about Modern Masters 2 where you could open it with a knife and reseal it with a hairdryer. That was fun. So everything lately about printing has been a disaster, to the point where if I were Wizards, I would say, no, we're going somewhere else because you clearly can't do your job. Now, sparing the point that maybe it was Wizards telling them to make the cards cheaper. That's the other side of the coin, and I actually think that that's more likely than just Belgium saying, hey, I bet we can save 1 penny per 10 cards by doing this, and then the result is the cards look like complete crap. And then the whole time they're charging Wizards the same amount of money. I feel like without really knowing, probably it was Wizards telling them to make the cards cheaper because, like I said, it's their number one expense. Printing, 7 or 800 million cards is pretty damn expensive. I just realized my math is way off. It's above 1 billion. You guys are going to comment on that so bad. Oh, they printed 117 million packs and there's 16 cards in each. There are 700 million. No, that would be in the billion range. Now, the funny thing about all this is when it comes to people collecting misprints, they either do or they don't. They either see one and they're like, that's interesting, and then they give it to somebody who gives a crap. That would be the majority of people. But there's some people that really like misprints. In fact, there's a huge market for it online on forums and Facebook and groups and that kind of stuff. In fact, there's one person from Wisconsin that has the largest, allegedly, collection of misprints, and especially valuable misprints, like stuff from like alpha and beta and stuff. And like I just mentioned, some of them can be worth quite a bit of money. It's usually the miscuts where they're so drastic that they actually have, a portion of another card showing. Those are worth a good chunk of change. And if it's like a rare mythic or common card, like a planeswalker, or rare mythic or commonly known about famous card, you could be looking at some serious cash, like well over $100 for like a $10 card. Most misprints are I was going to say not worth much more. Honestly, they're probably worth less. Like, it's all situational. It's not like there's a way to grade these or price them. It's just whatever people are willing to pay. But in general, if you get something that's clearly missing 50% of the black ink, somebody will probably want it, but they're not going to trade you much more than double its value. And honestly, if it's like an uncommon, it's like, 50 cents instead of 25 cents? Now, I've been known, in fact, I'm fairly famous amongst everybody at this point because, I kind of show my hand on this. I don't care. I will pay 10 times what the card's worth, in trade or literal money. I collect misprints. I like them. I don't get nuts with it. I don't have any $100 misprints or even 50. I don't think I even have a $2 misprint, but I just have all kinds of different misprints. Now, I don't like having too many of the same type. So I have some faded ones, some color shifted ones, some double printed ones, some mirror printed ones. I don't have anything totally wild. Like, I've seen this. I don't even know how this is physically possible, but a card with English on it in text, and then they accidentally ran it through the machine again and printed, backwards or even forwards, another language on top of it. How is that even on the same day at the printing facility, and how did you send it through the hopper twice? It violates the laws of physics to me, but I don't know. So I don't have anything that cool, but I've got stuff with faded lines down it, a whole consistent bunch of marks. I don't have any liquid ink damage splotches or solvent leaked ones where they're across multiple cards on the sheet. That's a shame. But I got roller marks, I got drastic miscuts, I got foil miscuts, just cool stuff like that. And people like seeing it. They're like, wow, that's tragic. That's amazing. I'm astonished that this is a thing. But they've ruined the market. I know it's the dumbest thing ever because it's not even really truly part of the game, but there are so many misprints, it's not even cool anymore. At this point, it's can I even legally get away with selling this? Or not legally, but can I get away with selling this without complaints on eBay or TCG Player? Is somebody going to see this cut to the right with 50% of the margin missing and be like, you know what? Maybe that isn't near mint. I mean, it's clearly not light play, but it's clearly not near mint. Opening up cards so damaged that I can't sell them might start to be a problem. Although, like I said, if you have a misprinted Liliana, instead of $40, it's old Liliana, you could probably get 50 or 60 no matter what the type of misprint, and you could get over 100 if it's the right kind of misprint. So I'm still kind of excited about pulling turbo dark cards, turbo light cards, and just all kinds of wacky stuff, miscuts, whatever, especially slight miscuts. If they completely eliminate the border, that's actually pretty exciting. I have very few of those. Anything showing the cut guide marks, the little white circles, those are kind of cool too. I have quite a few of those. But that's the thing. In Oath of the Gatewatch, guess what? I pulled over 3,000 of them. 3,000. I mean, that's I'm not going to say the exact number, but a pretty damn good portion of the total amount of boxes I opened. So those were shot. Those are basically unsellable. Even sending them on a buy list, they might be a little bit of a problem because these were drastic. You could see the little white circle that's supposed to guide the cutter machine. Hey, guess what? It didn't guide the cutter machine. Hate to break it to you. Okay, the first couple, I was like, whoa, misprint. After about the 5th pack, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I have enough for my binder. What the hell? And then 3,000 later, I'm like, Wizards literally just cost me like $1,000. Thanks, Wizards. And that's the problem. If you open a card that's so ugly you'd be embarrassed to put it in your deck because it's so wrong or it's actually not readable, then it's not even legal for play. You just opened a dead card. If it was an expensive card, well, get out your pen or Sharpie or something and fix it, which is debatably legal. And like everybody's been complaining about lately, Wizards doesn't have like a warranty policy. You cannot send them cards and have them send back corrected ones. I could have sworn people kept telling me that they either used to have that program or they do and most people just don't know about it. But the consensus I've been hearing lately is that they don't. I mean, they themselves claim that they don't sit on massive piles of singles just for market reasons, because then they could maybe sell them and pretend not to be the one selling it, just kind of dump them on the market secretly. And by the way, I deeply suspect that they do that, but that's just me being paranoid maybe. Other companies have been caught doing it, that's all I'm going to say. But at the end of the day, it's just embarrassing and bad for PR. That's what's really wrong with it. It's not, legality. It's not, counterfeit chance. It's not, they're like ruining the market for misprints. Those are all just annoyances. At the end of the day, it's, hey, I'm a new player. Hey, I've been playing for 10 years. All of a sudden, my whole stack of commons, my whole stack of uncommons, or the rare, or the mythic, or the foil in my pack looks like crap. I'm not impressed. How unprofessional. I mean, that's the worst hit that you can get because it may or may not make people buy less packs. I feel like it probably wouldn't because you still need the cards at the end of the day. But pulling either unusable cards or really ugly cards that you'd be embarrassed to run in your deck, that it's just a dead card. It's less value. That's completely unnecessary. And you can't tell me, Wizards would have to make it 11 a pack instead of $9.99 if they really, had humans monitoring it and upped the quality, up the paper, got better printing equipment. I don't buy that. It would cost a little bit more, but whatever was wrong with whatever the hell they were doing before, that didn't screw up cards on a grand scale. So lately it's been slipping. It's really bad. It's so bad for image. And Wizards of the Coast has a little bit of an image problem right now for all their social justice crap and lying to customers and screwing over investors. I mean, they have done so much. Raising the price of MTGO, adding in treasure chests that nobody wanted. They are in so deep right now. I mean, just the quality of MTGO and tournament cheaters not getting caught for years and then no consequences, them letting cheaters back into the game, them not cracking down on illegal hand signals used by specifically Team Channel Fireball. No, I'm never going to stop mentioning that ever. Allegedly. They allegedly did that. I have to throw that in. I mean, they friggin' did that crap, but allegedly. So now on top of all that clearly fixable stuff that they still haven't addressed, their products are low quality crap in everybody's eyes. That's not good, especially when their alternative, the digital offerings, are equally crap. I mean, this is so much worse based on the circumstances right now and the state of what people think about their company. I think it's still at the point where Hasbro needs to have a little bit more oversight and not just, hey, make more money, hey, cut margins, hey, make it cheaper, because for all I know, they're the ones causing this particular problem. They need to step in, look at, pull the customers separate from Wizards, don't have somebody from Wizards running the customer surveys, run one themselves, also known as an internal audit, basically, and see what's really wrong, and then start having heads roll and actually fix these problems. I mean, it's so bad, it might even be like 2 to 5% of all cards are misprinted. I'm getting the feeling that that's the scale. It might be under 1%, I don't know, but just think about that. If it was 5%, 1 in 20 cards have a slight misprint or miscut, oh my God, what industry could allow for that level of product defect? And you're probably thinking the Xbox Red Ring of Death, I think it was 55%, but people were kind of pissed about that too, so not the best example. Nintendo Switch is having a left Joy-Con connection problem under certain circumstances, maybe not confirmed. And it's way under 1%, way under, and the internet's treating it like it's Ebola 2.0. Like Nintendo literally kicked a puppy live on stream and then uploaded it to YouTube. Like that's how bad this problem appears to be, even though it's so small of a defect rate. I think 60 Samsung Galaxy Note 7s or whatever lit on fire out of a couple million, and people acted like every single one of them was a hand grenade. I mean, that, like, the danger level, okay, that deserved to be on, like, CNN, but still, I mean, this defect rate is so unbelievably high. I mean, just OGW, it was 1 in 3, 33%, give or take, of my order was messed up just for the uncommon slot. 33% defect rate. How the hell hard is it in 2017 to put ink on paper and use laser guided computer crap to not make your card suck? To put it in the simplest of terms. So what do you guys think? Are you just like, whatever, I'll play around it. I can still read the card in 9 times out of 10. Who cares? I like misprints. It's quirky. Whatever. If it costs me less at the end of the day, great. Which, by the way, has Wizards lowered the price to match the new quality of the cards? I guess that kind of eliminates that point that people might be making. No, they kept the price the same and lowered the quality. They pulled a Walmart on us. So what do you think? Like, are you super pissed about it? Do you not care? Are you, like, disappointed but you kind of don't care deep down? Or are you just absolutely livid that you opened a box and the whole thing was practically ruined? Or are you a collector where you need some, 9.0 and up, gem mint level cards, and you're pissed that you can't personally find them by opening sealed product? That's another argument I've heard. So just let me know what you think about the whole situation, and hopefully Wizards will clean it up, but I think we all know they won't. I'll see you guys next video.